Good afternoon. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused, my 3 times a week live show where I talk to you about social media, about video, and the content that you could be creating for your brand and for your business for free. My second favorite 4-letter word in the entire world. So, who am I to tell you anything? Well, today we're going to be talking about the fact that it is Crafters Month. I am Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios, an award-winning visual marketing agency based in the UK. And we help brands and businesses create content that makes them stand out on social media, be that video, animation, area work, all sorts of different types of stuff. But as I say, I like to try and help as many brands and businesses understand what they can do themselves as well for free until they can afford the power of an agency to help them, so that they can still stay consistent on their mobile phones, on social media, and have a presence organically on all the different platforms that they are using. So today we're talking about the fact that it is Crafters Month, and there are so many amazing crafting businesses out on social media right now. There's hundreds of them, thousands of them, and some people are creating some of the most incredible and intricate items you've ever seen. They're just amazing. And the reason I know this is because I take part in some Twitter hours and things like that, which we're going to come up onto fairly soon. And a lot of these people are creating stuff on those particular hours and that kind of stuff. But I want to chat to you about the kind of content that you could be creating if you are a craft-based business, because a lot of craft-based businesses will ask me the question, so you say give value, but how can I give value to my community when all I do is make something? So it's a lot easier than you actually think. So think of value not necessarily as giving away the information about what it is that you do, because otherwise you'd have to sit down and teach people necessarily how to etch or to sew. And you could do that with content. Don't get me wrong, that would be great content for people to see and teach people how to do things like cross stitch and wood carvings and all those kind of things, because even though they've been shown how to do it, doesn't mean they're going to go out and buy a wood carving kit and a spin, whatever you would call it, a spin. Shows how much wood carving I do, and start doing some wood carving themselves. But you're showing them how to do it. But there is another way as well. And I think a really great way of connecting to your audience and potentially connecting to a wider audience as well is that behind the scenes stuff. I've spoken about this when it comes to artists, and it's something I think works really well for anything in the creative industry. People love to see that behind the scenes aspect of your business. And that's not just necessarily you showing them how to do something, but showing them the process that you go through to create products for your brand and for your business to sell. So if, for example, you design clothing, then show them what the process is behind designing a new top or a new pair of trousers or a new dress or whatever it is that you're designing, a new woolly hat. Show them the process behind that through some of your content, and it really helps people understand a little bit more about you, the processes that you go through, and the products that you're designing and the pain points those products are actually removing. But we do live in this voyeuristic age where people like to see behind the scenes. It's why programs like The Circle, which is on Channel 4, perform so well. It's why programs like Big Brother used to do really well, and all those other great reality shows that have been and gone over the years. It's why they perform so well, is because people are voyeuristic. They like to see behind the scenes. What are people going to say? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen if something goes wrong? And you could show all of that through the process of your content being created. And you could create either case studies, videos and content about one particular item being designed, or just behind the scenes stuff, which you post as stories or flows or stories on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on TikTok or on Snapchat, wherever you want to post these things, which show things going right and things going wrong and the process that you go through to get all of that to work. So if you're a crafting business watching this right now, whether you're watching on the live or you're watching on the repeat or you're listening to the podcast right now, I want you to consider, once you've finished listening or watching this piece of content, that actually maybe you need to be thinking about creating content that's going to really speak to your community. It's going to give them an element of value, but the value isn't based in the information you're giving them. It's based in the fact that you're involving them in part of your life that you wouldn't normally show. The behind the scenes of you creating some fudge, or the behind the scenes of you running a B&B hotel up in the Lake District, and everything that you've gone through over the last 12 months. Because let's face it, yesterday was the 12-month anniversary of lockdown beginning. So a lot of people are still in that situation, and a lot of people would be very interested to see how you've survived through these periods of time and how maybe you've pivoted your business and all those kind of things. So definitely start thinking about the behind the scenes stuff that you could create. And that works for every type of business, personally, I believe, because people do have that interest in seeing what you're up to. For example, we have Ed McIntyre, who's joined us this afternoon. He does a podcast about Leeds United. Now, what would be really great is if then he did videos and content about Leeds United playing. So he maybe records a story just after Leeds United win a football match, or when they've just scored, or he does a live and records himself through the entire live, watching the live, and you get all the highs and the lows and see his emotions as and when it's happening. All those kind of things are what draw people into content. It's what draws people into. A friend of mine, George Benson, and Connor Allen, who's watching on YouTube, is asking, do I still know him? I do, and we're still mates. In fact, we were chatting yesterday on Instagram DMs, and we were chatting about content and we were chatting about other stuff. But George is making some great content at the moment. He goes live whenever Chelsea play. He's still over in Bali, but he's creating a community of people who will talk to him and actually involving the audience in his highs and lows of how Chelsea are performing. People love that behind the scenes. So 100%, if you're going to start creating any content for your crafting business or any business, but today we're talking about crafting because it is Crafters Month, I want you to consider creating that behind the scenes stuff. Think about what your audience would love to see. And they would love to see you creating something, but maybe cocking it up. They'd love to see you creating something, but it going really, really well and selling out. I'm not saying fake these things, but just take people on the journey that you're going through. That's what people want to see. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to add any more to it. But that's what I think you should be doing. I did mention earlier on some of the other things you could do with this content. One of the things I think is really cool at the moment is Twitter hours. Yes, it's not a visual website, although content does perform better if you use visuals on Twitter. But there are some fantastic Twitter hours. Now, a Twitter hour is where you partake in an hour of basically chat on a specific subject or specific subject matters or different questions, all that kind of stuff. And you can have them based in the area where you live, or there's crafting hours, or there's Berkshire hour, or Newbury hour, or there's Hampshire hour, or Yorkshire hour, or Hull hour. There's loads of them. Now, in the past, I made a small list. I say a small, it's about 200 Twitter hours that I know of, and it's linked in the section below. Some of them are a bit out of date, so don't blame me if they don't actually still happen. I haven't had a chance to go through it and kind of update it yet. But there are thousands of Twitter hours happening all around the globe. So go and take a look at some of those and try and partake in those. Those will help you build your community. And if you're showing some of the behind the scenes stuff and posting that onto those hours, it's going to really help those people connect to you in a completely different way to just posting, hey, I'm Bob and I make great hats. Whereas if you post, hey, I'm Bob and I designed this brand new hat and this is how it went, and post a link to a video where you take them through the whole process, that's going to really help them connect to you in a much more tangible and an emotional way. And as I've said before, we all buy on emotions. Very quickly, say a quick hello to Jamie Sharp, who's joined us over on LinkedIn as well. We're going to shoot off now. That's it. I'm done. 9-10 minutes. We're going to keep it short today, but thank you very much for watching. If you are brand new to this content, whatever platform you're watching on, make sure that you're following me. And if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, you can hit the little notification bell to make sure you never miss out on another live ever again. That would be good, wouldn't it? And while you're at it, how about you hit the share button as well so that your audience, your community can get some value from this content if you think it's worth it to them. Right, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. And I will see you again when I'm back. Friday. Not too sure what time, but I will see you then. But until then, as always, continue to stay safe and have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye.